Hello everyone and welcome. I'm Gary Godsoe. Welcome to VOR, or the Velocity Online Racing's coverage of Round 5 of Season 12 of the VOR Signature Series, the IndyCar Championship. As we come to you today from Worldwide Technology Raceway, or a place I like to call Gateway, for the Loverns Incorporated Gateway 250. Joining me in the booth, back with me as we've taken the last couple of weeks off for our own businesses and jobs and everything, and we're back in the booth together. Is joining me, you can see and read him on jalopnik.com as a regular participant in the IndyCar Oval Series. My broadcast partner before on Dark Horse and in the Revolution IndyCar League and many other places. Please welcome noted podcaster and motorsports journalist Erik King. Ryan, welcome back from the break. Seeing some big speeds here in the first practice. Seems like a good setup underneath these cars for some good racing here tonight.
Yeah, it is certainly going to be a wild ride tonight. The speeds are fast, but the car's going to be able to run pretty close together. And if you've driven Gateway, you know it is close quarters. You got to stay clear of anyone else because one mistake and you could go out with them.
That's true. I've been in that race before. I survived that race, as a matter of fact. You've actually done pretty well here. I think we both agree this is a place we love to hate and hate to love, because we both hate this place, but it's rewarded us both with wins. At least I got 2 wins here, and I think you have at least 1. So it's like one of those strange places that, you know, it doesn't really think it suits our driving style, but when you get into the race, it's all about surviving, but it's also about getting a method and a rhythm when you get into this track, because it's not foot to the floor for the entire lap. You're kind of feathering the throttle. You're changing gears. I mean, you are very busy in the cockpit.
Yeah, you're very busy, and you have to think moves ahead. You have to think tactically, because sometimes it isn't best to just have a run and then try to use to pass someone. You have to sit back, pick your moves, especially not only against cars for position, but lap cars. If you're at the front of the field and you have to worry about traffic.
Here's the race rules once again for today. And it'll be 7 sets of tires in the pits, one of the cars 6 in the pits, 100% fuel, which is approximately 18.5 U.S. gallons or 70 communist leaders. Anyways, green, white, checker. No, we're not doing that here. That's IndyCar, because this is IndyCar. We're not NASCAR. With the wave around rule, the IndyCar wave around rule is being enforced. Drivers will have to pit coming off the backstretch, going into turn 3. They cannot come off of turn 4 here. Even though it looks like you can, you don't really want to. The track is 1.25 miles in length. It's an egg-shaped oval. Race is going to be 200 laps, 250 race miles. The pit road speed limit is going to be 40 miles per hour or 64K. Currently watching qualifications. Lucas Lodato currently on the pole at the moment, provisionally 187 flat, followed by Matthias Strauss, who finished on the podium yesterday in the DW12 race. He's 186.7. Salvazzi, a 186.7. Jesper Orman goes to P2 with a 186.9. We do have a couple Q-bands for today for penalties from the last race. Unfortunately, our sponsor's namesake is going to be getting a penalty in his own race. You know, there should be a promoter's option at least here for Julian to waive that. But Gary Lovern is getting the Q-band. He'll be starting from the rear. Seb Kinder, also a Q-band from the rear. For Dojiko from the rear. And I think that's all we're going to see for today, starting from the rear. 38 seconds here left to play. We're watching Julian Altena making his attempt. The kart track record when first came here back in the day, because this was on the front line of the IndyCar Kart Civil War, or the RL Kart Civil War. Raul Boisel holds the kart record in the for his first pole position here in 97 with a 187.9. The IndyCar IRL track record is set by Will Powers in 2020 with a speed of 192.3. As they're watching, Inch going to the grass trying to slow down. Career wins leaders here in the IndyCar world are Joseph Newgarden with 4, including 3 in a row from 2020 to 2022. Dixon has 2, and he is your defending Gateway winner going into this season's race here in just a few weeks. And the names of the former winners here reads like a who's who of IndyCar history, such as Paul Tracy, Alex Zanardi, Michael Andretti, Juan Montoya, Al Unser Jr., Gilles de Ferrand, Helio Castroneves, Will Power, and Takuma Sato. And I hate to say this on Sato's part, and I always make this every time I read this list. He's probably like the least famous name on this list, and he has 2 Indy 500 wins.
He has 2 500 wins, and he's raced in Formula 1.
Right. I don't get it, but he's probably the least famous of all those names on that list. Well, I think it's time for us to get this starting lineup in, as we'll get these graphics hidden and get the lineup here on the screen. But we have a nice size field today. And we have a nice long race that we're going to be able to bring this action to you. On the pole, Matthias Strauss with a 24 flat. In fact, 24 flats pretty much for the first 6 positions. Lodato second, Orman third, Altina fourth. Back in row 3 is Fourth Eisen Salvazzi. Row 4, Dan Inch with a great run there, getting himself in the 7th spot. Adrian Millward in the 10th or in the 8th spot there as a 24-1. He's the first out of that 24 flat area. He was one of the fastest in practice, along with Bennyworth. Bennyworth with among the fastest in practice as well. He's a 24-1. Moving back to Carol Stout, and I hope I'm saying that correctly, in P10 on the outside of row 5 with a 24-2. Christensen and Santos in row 6. Bree and Bostaine. Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen Cameron. At least I've seen Cameron on the top, or on our top splitter of the broadcast here. Welcome back. He is in row 7. Kane and Evans in row 8. Alexander and Morales in row 9. That is a Q-band for Seb. That's why he's back there. And our sponsor for today's race, Lovern, is back in row 10. And Spider-Man himself, Tom Holland, he's back there in 20th. Final spot on the grid for tonight's 200-lap race. 250 miles. All right, you set to go?
Yep, I'm ready to go.
And yes, we have a night full of action ahead of both of ourselves. After this, it's SummerSlam, so we're going to get the racing over with.
Well, I always enjoy being here at Gateway.
It's always nice coming back to a place you win at. And green flag in the air, and big launch for Strauss. Big launch, and he's going to bring Orman with him. Orman down low under Lodato, move Orman up to second. Julian's going to follow Orman through on a Lodato on the inside, going down the backstretch, side by side. Cars contact in the back already. That is Cameron Mustaine. And we are cautioned.
You always have to hold your breath the first time you go through 1 and 2.
Yes, it is. The narrow end of the racetrack, and Bostaine might have a left front that's not aligned properly, and definitely missing the front wing. But we'll go back here in time a little bit and then see what happened.
Yeah, it just seems like Bostaine just got loose on the exit of 2 and took out the car on the inside of him.
Yeah, it's cold tires and trying to get a run on a car that in front of you. Although he is really high in entering turns 3 and 4, it just starts to get a good run on the outside. Not sure who, and it just comes around. Oh, and he makes contact with, I'm not sure who that is. Is that Bree? Yeah, it's Tim Bree. So Bree's a little damaged as well. Maybe was there net code there? We'll have to go back and look. I don't think there was. Let's ride along with Cameron Bostaine on the start here. A lot of room to his inside and a lot in front of him. A very conservative start, which isn't a bad thing here. On the high side, he has a car right in front of him that's going to get the aero wash. Again, not up to speed, so they're not experiencing 100% downforce yet. And no, it just comes around on him.
Yeah, just unfortunate. It's something that you always have to stay aware of early on, where I do like to run it loose the first lap at Gateway just to try to get better corner speed, but you have to be aware about how loose your car is. You're pretty much on the edge.
Dan Inch giving up a lot of track position to top off and go to the rear of the field. In itself might not be a bad idea. I think well, Seb Alexander looks like he might be doing the same as well. Joseph Morales, he's going to come down. He's going to top off.
Oof. I'm not so sure about that because, you know, it doesn't matter how good your setup is. Passing a car is still passing a car. And you're really betting on yourself if you put yourself in the back of the field at Gateway and you have to pass a sea of vehicles to try to fight your way back to the front.
Well, they could be. I mean, they're only going to get a handful of laps at best. A handful. 3, 4 maybe. Over the rest of the field. And if we go green through the first stint, they might get lucky while those first round of pit stops are happening and when a car is coming up to speed on these very slippery pit access roads. And we'll give you an idea what these pit access roads look like. Let's ride around with Jomo here. Joseph Morales. See, these these access roads are very slippery. I've been a victim of it as well. I've seen a number of them. A number of drivers fall victim to that road, especially in the DW12 race last night. We saw yesterday afternoon. A number of drivers fall victim to that to those roads, either coming in or going out. But they can cause a caution, and if you're amongst those that maybe have, let's say, and we're getting ready to go racing, I think here, a handful of laps over the rest of the field. You might be able to catch a good portion of the field a lap down or more if that happens while you have fuel in the tank still. Green flag underway, back underway here on lap 4. Strauss, lap 5, excuse me, then Strauss with a big run, and he is now setting sail, but he's not getting away as Jesper Orman. Oh, car in the backstretch.
Oh, here we go again.
That's Jordan Evans. Same thing. Let's watch him. Now he's right there in front of Lovern. And again, almost the same, exact same thing. It's just you're not up to speed 100%, so you don't have all that downforce that you used to. And so that might be that he has his weight jacker possibly set in a position that's higher than it needs to be with that as little downforce is going through that corner.
Yeah, that could be an effect where generally what I like to do the opening lap at Gateway is run as high a line as possible just to get my speed up and to turn the downforce on. Yep.
That's you got to keep in mind physics are at work here. As you're coming up to speed through 1 and 2, you really don't have 100% downforce in the car. And here we see more people coming to pit road. Alexander, Inch, again, Toppy coming in the top off, playing the long game. Evans coming in. Probably to get definitely a top off, but possibly get a new set of tires. They do have a couple extra sets they can use. But yeah, you don't have a full downforce as you would expect when you're at 100% speed coming back to turn 1 after the completion of the first lap that you get under green. You'll have a lot more downforce in turn 1. That time around. Yeah. Still showing Bastain and Bree in the pits. Actually, Bree showing him out of the race, but car's still in the pits. Bastain still getting worked on, hoping that he can maybe make its way back in. 18 cars now in this race. Yeah, everybody back from 15th on back. Morales on back has stopped at least once under these first 2 cautions. And we're getting ready to go green.
Let's see if we can get through clean this time.
Yeah, I like to show the ticker tree here. Here we go. And another good start by Strauss, but this time Orman is not letting them get away, and in fact, Julian has a good start too. It's Strauss, Orman, Altena, Laudato, Forsyth, all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going through turn 1 and 2. Can we make it through turns 2? And we're seeing that most everyone else behind them has. And here comes Orman with a full head of steam, running down Strauss.
Okay, let's see if we can ease into a rhythm.
Yeah, let's ease into the rhythm. That's the hardest part here.
Because naturally things are going to stretch out early in the run, but thanks to the toe, things are going to bunch back together. And if you're Julian or anyone in that leading group,
Laudato and Forsyth side by side. Yeah, you got to get into a rhythm.
Tow your way back up.
Yep, you got to get into a rhythm here. A little bit further back, I think we saw Stout and Bennyworth side by side. And move Forsyth around Laudato, move him up to 4th. Patrick Salvazzi now on the backside of Laudato. There we see Bostaine and Bree coming off of pit road. Repairs are done. They're joining right in the middle of the pack.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
Hang on, fellas. Wow, look at the high line that Forsyth has going through 1 and 2. Just gives him a good run down the backstretch. Laudato not able to get any closer than what he's going to get right there at the entrance of 3. The draft brings him in, but then he kind of falls back a little bit. Arrow wash inside. Here comes Patrick Savazzi. No, not going to get there.
Yeah, that middle to high line through 1 and 2. It's not the fastest way through the corner, but it works to hold your position.
Once we get into this race, we'll show you the points situation. Show you the upcoming schedule. As a matter of fact, we'll do that as well. But thanks for joining us. You enjoy Velocity Online Racing's coverage of the VOR IndyCar Series and respect the stream. Please do us a solid. Make sure you support us by subscribing while you're at it. Don't forget to smash like and click the bell so you don't miss out on future VOR iRacing broadcasts. And they have a lot of them. DW12 Series, and they have a new caution on the racetrack. Not sure who. Oh, John Christensen. We don't see that one very often. What happened to John? John racing with Lovern. That's his teammate. Oh, hopefully nothing. Loose. Oh, Lovern sneaks on by. You just see the back end of the... Oh, and Bostaine... Well, when you're having a bad day, you're just having a bad day. Bostaine into the fence. I think his day now is done. Let's check this out again. Let's do it from Lovern's point of view. You'll watch the car in front there, and it just twitches. Watch a little bit of a twitch. There's a twitch. There's a twitch again. The back end's coming around. And Lovern really needed to escape on the high side there. If he did it, the door was going to shut. He was going to be in that too. And that would have been 2 of the AA cars taken out already. And we are under our 3rd caution of the day.
Oh, yeah. Just, you hate to see it because generally the fastest way around 3 and 4 with some setups, you sort of get into a neutral slide. So you can effectively hold the wheel completely straight and the car basically slides its way around the corner while you're foot to the floor flat out. But if you don't balance it right, you'll end up in that lazy spin. And
well, a lot of times the way that you get loose in 3 and 4 is when you grab the inside rumble strips. And I don't think he even got close to those. He just, he made his turn in, the back end kind of came around. It's just like a little bit too much rear bar, maybe a little too much weight jacker involved there. I don't know.
Yeah, just got unsteady and spun around. And unfortunately, there were cars behind him on the road.
We're watching here from Cameron Bostain's point of view, and we'll see if this is yeah, this is it right here. There you see the car coming around. Cameron tries to go to the high side, but the car just goes up, and Cameron is now on the radar of St. Louis International Airport.
Yeah.
And a bit of a rough day for him. But I think we are back to going green because they decided to make green short here. And Julian Altena is the leader. And what we'll do is we'll go back and we'll watch the restart there and bring everybody up to speed here. Here it is, and there we go. And we're back to live TV. I do like how the sim simulates all the flash photography in the stands. It's very retro of them. But on that stop, and Dan Inch, as a matter of fact, he made all those pit stops. He has worked his way up to 7th, and now in 8th as he gets bypassed by Lee Kane.
Yeah, because fuel strategy is going to be very weird with the multiple cautions we've had and the people stopping at, different cautions along the way.
Here's Forsyth on the inside of Inch. Oh, wow! The Strauss just full sends it through. I think Inch kind of left it a little bit, didn't expect to have a whole parade of cars go by, and they did, including Orman. Now here comes Savazzi.
Oh, we're really elbows out tonight, aren't we?
And Stout in the inside as well. That's a good-looking car. And Lee Kane now going to the high side. He was decided that might have been too rough racing up there. Decides to let the cars on by. So he floats to the back. Well, those guys that got new tires, they are just really clicked it up a notch. The racing's got real aggressive here. And we're only 22 laps into this thing.
Yeah, at the front, we have a decent fight for second.
Bennyworth
filling up Julian's rear view mirrors.
Well, let's take a look and see what that looks like from his rear view mirror right there. Here's Lodato and Bennyworth going into 3. And Bennyworth has himself about a 2-second lead over Santos. So that this lead 3 have broken away. Bennyworth trying to look at the inside of Lodato, not really close enough. Maybe just trying to drive in for some clean air. Julian has a half-second lead. That might as well be a 5-mile lead at this point.
Yeah, because as long as they're worried about each other in second and third, Julian just needs to stay focused and run his race.
Oh, Bennyworth to the inside again. Nope. Needs to time it a little bit better. Lucas Santos in 4th. Millward's leading a group of cars, including Lovern, Forsyth, Orman. There's Bree injured on the inside, letting traffic go. Let's hop on with him and see how his car is tracking. Yeah, a little offset in the front steering.
Definitely not ideal.
Not optimal, as they like to say. And yeah, there he goes to the inside. He's going to let our pole sitter, Thea Strauss, on the outside get the run. Strauss brings Silvazzi by him. That is the bottom portion of the top 10. Stout flashes there. We got a flasher on the race course. I don't mean that in a negative way. Although that could bring some ratings. I don't know. Forsyth around Lovern. And Forsyth around Millward as well. And Orman around Millward. So Millward was kind of holding that group up a little bit. And actually, it was Lovern and Millward kind of holding that group up a little bit. And Forsyth and Orman want to go, go, go. And today's Gateway 250 is brought to you by this guy right here, Gary Lovern. Lovern Incorporated. Lovern provides professional services and renovation remodeling.
Lodano is taking the lead.
We get back to the lead there. It's tough to look. We got a battle in the mid-pack that's so spicy there. Lovern Incorporated provides professional services in renovation, remodeling, painting, and mold removal for government, commercial, and residential projects. For a quote or to learn more, like them on Facebook or visit their website at lovernsinc.com today. The link is in the description. I want to thank them for their sponsorship of the Gateway 250 tonight here on the Velocity Online Racing channel. So we got a group of three. Lodano has run down Julian. Not sure if Julian's pace has really fallen off, or maybe he is thinking about hitting a number. Remember, just because you see guys get passed on the racetrack doesn't mean they necessarily are having problems or having issues. It could very simply be that they're running the math and they're seeing that maybe if I go longer, then that means the second stint goes longer and the third stint goes shorter because I don't have to fill as much to get to the end. So he might be thinking long game, letting someone go to punch a hole in the air, try to save some fuel. He's right there in the draft envelope. Draft envelope on these IR18s about a second and a half. Lodano, Altena, Bennyworth. There's Lucas Santos all by himself. Santos is fallen back about 2/10 from this battle. He was 2 seconds last time we looked. Now he's 2.5, 2.4. But he is in an envelope all by himself. He's not being impacted by the draft, so he is not saving on any mileage. He is actually cutting his own hole in the air. Jesper Orman is bringing this next group of guys back. Jesper is 5 seconds back from Orman. Or Jesper is 5 seconds back from Santos, excuse me. And he's bringing Forsyth with him. If we go green on this first stint, you're looking at a battle for the lead right here. Orman and Forsyth, yep. They will be probably the two cars that will pick up the lead if we do go green on the pit stops. And they will at least have about 17 laps more fuel.
And that's a massive difference because not only is it not a chance to make up a stop completely, but the idea that the rest of the field has to come in under green and the likelihood that everyone gets down pit road and out without causing a yellow is not 100%.
Yeah, the gap to Orman to Santos is 3 seconds, actually. Stout and Savazzi side by side coming off the 3. Stout gets the position, moves Stout to 9th. And we saw Strauss on the inside of Lovern, move Strauss up to 7th, Lovern back to 8th. There are your weather conditions. Track temp 67, ambient temperature 67, track temp 72, light wind. So not a lot of abusive tire conditions, although you can wear the tires out here. You can do tires into up into 50 laps or more. At least it was that case for the DW12s. Oh, again.
You could put a bit more wear through the tire if you run the bottom lanes with 1 and 2 because it's a lot shallower compared to the rest of the corner.
Here's the closest battle on the racetrack here. Lovern and Stout.
Side by side in the 1.
Lovern just sends it on the high side. And I'll tell you what, Lovern, I don't think really wants this pass to happen because if Stout could get in front of him, Stout's blinking. And when you have a blinking car in front of you, that's just like an extra advantage that car in front of you has. Now here's Savazzi. And there is Adrian Millward. Started in up to 5th. Currently in 11th. Getting a bit of a schooling on oval racing since joining the IR18 series. Let's hop on board with him, see how well he's doing. Very low in the 1 and 2 there. Looks like he's more comfortable on the low side. Up to 6th gear down the backstretch. That's normal. Might want to drop a gear here. Bind the car up, maybe take it to 5th. Getting a good run down the front stretch there. Normally you shift gears at about 6th into here. Down the 4th. Yep, there you go. Now he's in a higher line this time. Down the backstretch. Normally hits 6 about that pit opening there, or the wall opening. Yeah, there he goes. Down the 5th in turns 3 and 4. Really low through the corner. There's an odd bump that's that if you do hit it, can make your exit off of 4. If you come off low, it makes your exit off of 4 kind of awkward.
Yeah, because when you hit that bump, you really want to be holding the wheel as straight as possible, even though you sort of want to ride the line further out, but you can't because you're probably going to lose control.
And he's got a run on Savazzi. He's going to take a look to the inside. He maybe shifted the 6th gear a little late. Got to get in the draft, but he's got a position on the inside. He needs to get down the 5th. He needed 5th.
Yeah, he did.
He needed 5th. Okay, he's going to get another run on him this time. Savazzi really low through the corner. Well, I guess the run didn't really look like in the middle of the corner he was going to get the run. Gets the run late down the backstretch. Not going to get him into 3. Now watch those rumble strips, man. We do want to welcome Aiden to the league there. I know he has a lot of followers on YouTube and he streams his races. So welcome to all them. Let's get back up front to the battle of the lead there for the 3. They've kind of broken away. They've broken away from Santos by 5 seconds. Julian going to take a look to the inside of Lodato. Says, I want to go back to the lead. The 11 car to the inside. Lodato lets him go. Julian back to the lead. Lap 48. Well, Julian doing a little bit of a weave now to kind of keep Lodato at bay. Not sure if that's entirely necessary at lap 48, but apparently Julian wants to hold that position. And Bennyworth looking to the inside of Lodato. Lucas Santos is going to be joined by Jesper Orman rather quickly. Orman's cut it to a 2nd. He is in the draft envelope. And he will be up in this battle probably in the next 3 to 4 laps. So we're watching the driver inputs from Jesper. Not a lot of brake going on here. You don't really need a lot of brake here. Going into 1, you just really let off the accelerator, grab a couple of lower gears, and the downforce kind of slows your car down for you.
Yeah, the only time I really use the brake here is if I have a run into turn 1 and I'm passing someone on the inside. That's the only time I ever use the brake here. But besides 1 and 2, the move Julian did down the back straight, that's what you want to do through 3 and 4, because the inside line through 3 and 4 is the dominant line. There's no faster way around those 2 corners.
Well, we are now in the nighttime portion of the event. As I say, the nighttime is the right time for IndyCar racing. If you've ever seen an IndyCar race at night, it's a whole lot of fun. And we do have takers to pit road. Lee Kane is one of them. I don't know if they're getting out of the way of the leaders or is this a scheduled stop. That is, who is on pit road? Is that Strauss? No. Jordan Evans. Sorry. Nope. Lee Kane.
No, Santos.
Okay, Santos. So that is a scheduled stop. I knew that was what I just couldn't find. Again, folks, this is only, I think, our second race of the season. While and we want to thank the guys at FTN for covering us for the last 3 races where we've each had either IIS or things to do. Oh, Lee Kane too close to the wall for his pit. Santos, this is a scheduled stop at lap 54. Lovern, I believe that's Lovern coming down pit road for his stop. Nope, he's on pit road.
Yeah, Julian and Lodato have come in. So that tells you that if you didn't come in, you're probably close to empty at the moment.
But remember, Orman's going to pick up the lead here, even though Bennyworth has got a few extra drops in the tank, but he's coming to pit road right now. Here you see the entrance onto the pit access road on turn 3. He's coming on very conservatively. Very conservatively. That's going to turn the lead over to Jesper Orman right there. He's your new leader. And he should have the lead for the better part of the next 15 laps or so. And he's, go ahead.
And this is where Gateway really gets interesting, where you have cars coming in and out on strategy. You're probably hitting lap traffic for the first time. You really have to be aware of your surroundings. And if you're good enough, you can actually gain positions due to this chaos.
Very long pit deltas here. Very long pit deltas. 35 seconds or more pit deltas here. So while we are overlapping on pit strategies, Orman, Forsyth, Strauss, your top 3 of these guys all pitted on lap 17. Strout also on 17, Salvazzi on 17, so your entire top 5 on lap 17. Dan Inch, he pitted last on lap 7. Caution flag. Who is in?
Oh, Aiden.
Oh, no. Aiden, here he is, coming up to speed. And not sure what happened here.
Yeah, he said over the radio that it was his cold tires.
Wow, it looks a lot like what happened to Christensen. The back end just comes around mid-quarter and into the wall. And you know what? I mean, we were just talking about all those guys that stopped early, that they could stay out a little bit longer. I think Dan Inch was getting ready to come into the pits. If not, well, he might cycle to the back now, but that strategy almost came to fruition for him. But certainly everybody at 17, they're sitting pretty.
Yeah, like I said earlier in the race, the likelihood that everyone would go down pit road and come out without causing a caution was not 100%.
There is Dan Inch. He last pitted on lap 7, so he is now going to be on this strategy of everyone that pitted on lap 17. Although Joseph Morales stayed out. We're still showing him as one of the last cars that pitted on 17.
Yeah, because Morales is getting the wave around, I believe.
Yeah, Bennyworth with the purple lap set earlier in the race. 24-3. Do have a car on pit road. That is Jordan Evans. Yes, Jordan Evans. There is Joseph Morales. So he will be back on the a little bit later strategy than everyone had pitted at 60. But Orman went to pit road, goes in as a leader, comes out the leader. So now all these guys, we see Julian, who's right behind the pace car, and he has Lee Kane right in front of him. Kane is now 2 laps down. He will get the wave around along with Julian Lodato, Bennyworth. Lucas Santos will get the wave around. Tom Holland will get the wave around. He'll swing his way to the back to the rear of the field, and Lovern will get the wave around as well. So, if you're interested in what we're talking about, the wave around, this is an IndyCar rule. The by rights, the rule says, hey, if you're the leader, you should bring the field back to the restart. This way, you don't have kind of odd situations of, depending on where they caught the pace car, a bunch of these either cars that are lapped down or cars at the end of the lead pack and are in front of the leader, and they're going to race really, really hard because they don't want to lose their lap or go down any further. And they used to be old IndyCar rules. I mean, wherever the pace car would always pick up the leader, and then when the leader would go to pit road, I mean, it would just the queue to the back of the pace car would just move up. As if you just happened to be a lap down and came behind the pace car, and you were the first car, like you were going to bring the field back to green. And sometimes that puts some inexperienced people bringing the field back to green. And if you go back and watch some restarts in IndyCar racing history, or actually Indy 500 history, there were times where some guys that brought the field to green should have probably never brought the field to green. But they did, and it brought some spicy moments on the racetrack. And so to kind of avoid all that, the rule set here in IndyCar racing now is that the leader always brings the field back to green. And so if there's anybody in front of the leader but behind the pace car, they get the wave around. Very simple. So here we go, and Jesper's not wasting any time. As soon as that pace car got off the track and got behind the wall, he is on it. And that back group led by Alton, I don't think he actually ever really got to the back of the pack there. I think they were still about another small portion of the straightaway away. But here's Forsyth looking on the high side of Orman. These two guys race each other a lot. Here's Seb Alexander. He's worked his way up to 6. Seb had a qual ban, and he hit pit road a number of times in those early cautions. That's paying off for him right now. Same thing with Dan Inch.
Yeah, that seemed to be the big benefit to being one of the early pitters, where you just got track position after that last caution.
Here's Alexander on the inside of Salvazzi at the start-finish line. I think the IAR car is going to get him, and he does. Salvazzi got to, I think, let him go. Bennyworth getting around Inch there. Bennyworth looking on the inside of now Julian. And he gets the position and tries to slide up a little bit. Oh! But notice who's the leader of these three. These three were the leaders early on. It's Lodato. He got on and off the pit road very quickly. Your biggest gainer of the day? Well, it's this guy right here. We just watched him. Seb Alexander up 12 spots. Gary Lovern up 7. Tom Holland up 6. Joseph Morales up 5. So we got some movers out there. Carl Strutt up 6. I think Bennyworth's got to look. He's going to run on Julian. Is he going to take a look to the inside or no? It's going to stay there. I'm going to stay there. Foreman starting to pull away from Forsyth by 3/10 now. Watching a battle between Altena and Lodato. If you're just joining us, this is Velocity Online Racing's coverage of the VOR IndyCar Series coming to you from Gateway for the Lovern's Incorporated Gateway 250. We completed 69. But that is not meant to be on purpose, folks. We completed 69 of 200 laps. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race. I could have waited a lap if I noticed that.
Yeah. Yeah, but besides the rough start, it seems like we've started clicking off lap by lap. And people are starting to either find their footing or slowly slip down the field.
Yeah, the top 6 have really kind of separated out by about a 10th each position. Yeah, 3/10 back to Forsyth, 7/10 back to Strauss, 6/10 back to Strout, 9/10 back to Alexander. So yeah, they're starting to separate now. Alexander has a visitor now. Silvazzi has worked his way back to the backside of Alexander. Silvazzi, I'm not sure if Silvazzi's is not having an easy time getting through turns 1 and 2 as everyone else.
Yeah, that seems to be the deciding point on the track for a lot of people, where if you could find a way to really move your car through that corner, you could gain a lot of time. But if you can't, you'll really struggle out there, especially defending your position.
Yeah, we're riding with him. He's getting closer to Seb. Mark Murphy not in today's lineup, on vacation. That's why he won't be in the be with me in the booth for Monday's race of the ISRA Xfinity Series Championship race over on FTN. Final race over there for that series. Championship Monday. Join us. We have as many as 5 drivers in the championship fight going into the final race at Talladega. What kind of person schedules Talladega for the final race of a championship season?
someone who really wants an intense Game 7 moment.
Forsyth starting to reel in Orman. Let's pop back with Forsyth right along with him. Whoa!
Oh!
That's planned. That had to be planned.
Yeah, that had to be planned.
All right, keep in mind that happened at lap 76. So I'm thinking that maybe they just want to work together now, or maybe he decided he'll do half the stint as a leader and then he'll chase for the other half of the stint. I mean, there were only 17 laps into the stint. He's in 6th gear, so he is in fuel conservation. He might actually be down on a fuel map as well.
Yeah, it might be a fuel move, which I don't know if the fuel's that valuable.
Oh, I thought he was going to go on the inside. Yeah, Strauss is back into the picture now. He's 5/10 behind. Strout 3/10 behind that battle. So if he does, let's say he pitted at 60, and he does another 43. That gets him past the halfway point. And he does another 43 from there. That gets him to 150-ish. Yeah, I see what he's doing. He needs to save on some fuel because there's going to be an odd, about 7 laps difference to get to the end.
Eliminate any possibility of having to do a splash and dash.
So we are fuel mileage racing, I think, right now, at least for this stint. Meanwhile, not fuel racing are these guys back here for 7th, 8th, and 9th. They really want to catch this group. Up in the front, they're doing 24.8s and 24.9s. Back here, they're doing 24.6s. They will
Clearly
be
the difference.
Yeah, they will be in this battle very, very shortly if they keep this pace up.
And if they do catch this, this will become a rather large pack.
Oh. Zeb Alexander to the inside.
Yeah, Orman's just all over Forsyth's attenuator, but he's clearly holding back.
We're seeing at that point in the race now, at least this part in the stint, that the new tires have well worn off, and that the bottom line through 1 and 2 is not the preferred line now. But the bottom line through 3 and 4 is, and a good run for Alexander to the inside of Strout. Now Strout's going to have the aero wash of Matthias in front of him, and that's, well, I thought it was going to be clear. No, oh, Missouri. Wow. Wow. I think it was a bit of a gamble whether or not he was clear or not. Mack at the front. Forsyth and Orman. Oh, here comes Strauss. Excuse me. Alexander again on the way inside of Strauss.
Oh, man, is the fuel save worth it if everyone else is going to pile up behind you?
Lodato has gotten around Salvazzi. Julian now around Salvazzi. Salvazzi's might have recognized this as a fuel save, so he might be falling back as well. Bennyworth will then set up Salvazzi next. Stout to the inside of trying to get that position back from Alexander. Forsyth back is still the leader. Alex Orman is now P2. Strauss is the third. Alexander now. We talked about how the top 3 kind of broke away a little bit. Well, now we are nose to tail. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And Seb Alexander is the only one really wanting to race out of this group right now at the moment. Although Lodato, well, once Lodato and Julian and Bennyworth get into this group, they will want to race as well. Well, Orman to the inside of Forsyth. Maybe it's time to go. We'll see. He's bringing his teammate with him, staying low on the inside of the straightaway to give his teammate the draft, to kind of pull him to the inside. There it is. That's perfectly legal. If Forsyth wants that advantage, he needs to get one of his teammates to join him in this race. And speaking of teams, we do want to bring them while we're here. Real quickly, here are the team points. Indy Alliance is your team leader, followed by Altena Autosports, Team Watson, Viper Racing, 4D, NSR, and TI. Still a long way to go in this championship. As Orman starts pulling away a little bit by now 4/10.
Yeah, almost like turning on a light switch. He just started pulling away.
And he's got a lap car in the it's going to be in the start of this battle. Now he's trying to draft. That's Lee Kane. And Kane's going to stay high, roll out of it. Stay out of the wall, Lee. Stay out of the wall, Lee. Stay out of the wall. Good job. Hold your line. That's how you do it right there. That's how you do it. Hold your line. Make yourself predictable. And the drivers will love you for it. And they'll remember that if Lee Kane ever needs a favor. Pace is picked up now. 24/7s now for your leaders. 24/7s, 24/6s. Julian around Strauss now. So Julian and Lodato following each other to the front. They pitted on lap 55. They have slightly less fuel in the tank. Probably why they're just going to go, because it's going to be a much harder for them to save that, I guess, handful of laps that Orman is trying to do. Now Joseph Morales is next in line to be lapped. Morales is 13th right now on the racetrack. Last car on the lead lap. And Morales stays to the inside this time. Lodato. Oh.
Not ideal.
Not ideal, but they make it work. Oh, big move by Stroud. I think he just yanked the wheel, hoping that it would go to the inside. Kind of doing a surprise late sin there on Strauss. Not going to work. In fact, it cost us some momentum. Next up is Jordan Evans, I believe. He stays to the inside, but he's going to want to... Orman's going to try to get the draft off him. Evans going to come to pit road. Get out of the way there. Again, perfectly fine etiquette. Here comes Alexander to the inside for the lead. Alexander from the rear of the pack to the front. Your leader up 16 spots. He had a Q-ban. Big moving for him. And a lot of that had to do with those early pit stops coming in for splash and goes on those two early cautions. That got him into position to do this. Here's Forsyth getting a run on Orman. If there's another driver saving fuel right now, it's definitely 100% Forsyth. 97 of 200 coming to the halfway point. Yeah, you hear Forsyth riding with him right now. He kind of cracks the throttle just to breathe the car a little bit before going into one, so he's not impacted by the aero wash as bad. Then he catches back up down the backstretch going into 3. Next up for the lap traffic for Alexander and Orman will be Holland and Lovern. There you just see them a little bit further down the road. Here we are riding with your leader. And if you look way down there, or actually not way down there, there they are right there. They're in the middle of the front stretch, 3 wide. Definitely don't want to see that lead. One of them is Evans, who came off pit road. Going to 5th. Evans stays to the inside. Alexander on by. Now he has in front of him Holland and Lovern. Lodato to the inside of Forsyth. Not going to make it.
But he stalls out. And
he stalls out, and Julian's getting the full head of steam to the outside Julian this time. And he's going to have the draft to Forsyth to pull him and give the AA car the position. $16 cars still on the racetrack. That's a pretty good number. You're gonna have traffic, good portions throughout the rest of this race still. Julian up high, trying to get clean air on those front wing planes. Down low that time, Lodato gets in a little bit of a run on the low side. That is Tom Holland coming to pit road. Lovern, today's sponsor. Gonna get some TV time here as he's right in front of the leaders. Trying to stay on the lead lap, currently 12th. And to the inside, here's Seb Alexander. You see cars coming to pit road. Hear all the cars shifting gears as they're going through 1 and 2 there. So the lap here is one of the busiest laps. We see Bennyworth coming to pit road. And he's hitting that. He hits pit road very conservatively. Again, I'm not sure his experience level on this car, but definitely fast, but not used to hitting pit road at speed. And now he's on pit road.
Ways, you'd rather be safe than sorry.
Safer than sorry, true, yeah. But you can make up so much room on pit road, but you can also lose so much time. This is a scheduled stop. This will get him to approximately 156 or so. He's now 49 laps in this current stint, so it'll get him closer to actually in the 150s. It might actually just be a little shy to get him home. We'll see. He might have to do a little fuel saving here. You'll have one more stop. And then we'll only need another stop after that. We'll see. Julian Altena coming to pit road, and he's coming a little bit more aggressively, along with Stout. Stout eats up a lot of space behind Julian. Silvazzi coming to pit road. Well, these are all guys that pitted a little bit earlier. Some Alexander pit road now. That might be time for everybody, I guess. Orman tried to save some on that stint. Obviously, you saw that move where he let Forsyth go. Orman's now the leader. Strauss is second. Dan Inch is going to come across the line here. Move him up to third. And caution on the racetrack.
Oh.
Was it Lee Kane?
Let's see. I think it was Lodato.
Was it Lodato?
Yeah. Lodato just got
Wow.
loose in 4.
Not expecting Lodato. And something happened to Silvazzi. He is now out as well. Didn't see what happened to Lee Kane. Lee Kane came to pit road, and then he just quit. Not sure what happened. No, he just withdrew. So let's go back to Lovern here. It's the inside of Julian. Again, we're watching again in real time. Coming to pit road. Does this happen after he gets his tires? Oh, Silvazzi. And look at this shot right here. Silvazzi, as he comes by, smacks the wall. And I think that's why he had the withdrawal. Let's continue to move things along here, see what happens. It's almost the same thing we've seen before in 3 and 4. Right in the right spot, too. The back end just comes around. And then
cold tires.
Back into the wall. So that really shakes things up. As everyone did stop at 112 for the most part, who needed to stop. And there we see Lodato coming to pit road to see if he can get that rear wing replaced to see if there's any other damage on that car. Surely there's got to be something to that gearbox. Joseph Morales coming to pit road as well. He is now back on the lead lap. Julian Altena coming to pit road. This might be a stop to get him back to his final stop. Get him set up perfectly for the final stop. Morales coming out. Altena coming out. 113 of 200. Due to an incident with Lucas Lodato, a number of cars have been having the same issue getting loose in the middle of 3 and 4 and backing it into the wall. And we've seen some other cars get loose off of 2. Mainly the loose off of 2 has been coming on the green flag lap, right when we get green flag through 1 and 2. Cars have been getting loose there. Morales coming to pit road again. But the incidents we've seen in 3 and 4 have to do with the cars coming out of the pit with cold tires. And they just take it a low line through 3 and 4 like they have for pretty much the entire race. And as they turn down to the apex, the back end just comes on around.
Yeah, they just don't have the speed that they normally have, so lower downforce, and they also
I think they're forgetting to change
tires.
Yeah, well, and they're forgetting to change their tools back to a pre light tank warm tire tool set setting, if you know what I mean. They should be returning their tools back to and there's Silvazzi now, he's back. They should be returning their tools back to a full tank cold tire setting. All right, so we'll reset the field here momentarily. Coming to green for lap 115, Jesper Ormond, your leader. Matthias Strauss, your pole sitter, is second. Dan Inch, by virtue of, again, these pit stops where he's going long and getting in splashes to go, he's topping off before we go green. He's now up to third. Julian Altena, his teammate, is in fourth. Seb Alexander, fifth. Strout is sixth. Forsyth, seventh. Bennyworth is eighth. Those are all the cars on the lead lap. There is one car in the middle of this battle here, Savazzi, who's off the lead lap. He's 4 laps down from repair. He goes to the inside. He's going to let everyone on by. But a good start by Jesper Ormond at lap 115. And Joseph Morales, I guess now as we wait for everything to cycle through, goes down a lap, and then it gets passed by Santos. Santos is now ninth, the first car 1 lap down. Strout to the inside of Evans. And Bennyworth to the inside of Evans, giving those guys track position. Bennyworth is now the last car on the lead lap. So if we go 52 laps like everyone did on that last stint, if they get to... Yeah, they should be able to... The last lap should be within... just shy of 20 to go, give or take.
Yeah, they should be able to make the distance.
Oh, moving and shaking on the backstretch. What's going on there? I think we got some slower traffic just trying to get out of the way, and in the meantime, the leaders behind them and those on the lead lap are trying to use the draft to kind of move themselves along. I think it's kind of that's why we're seeing these kind of extreme moves down the backstretch. Once again, if you're just joining us, you're watching Velocity Online Racing's coverage of Round 5 of 14 of the VOR IndyCar Series, coming to you from Gateway for the Lovern Incorporated Gateway 250. Jesper Ormond currently leads with 80 laps to go. Jesper's led 44 circuits around this place tonight. And as we settle into a bit of a bit of a rhythm here. Let's go ahead and bring up the points. Let's bring up the points for the remainder of the season. There they are the points for the season. As you see, Jesper Orman, our leader, is the points leader of the series. 190 points. Big lead over Julian, but you have 3 wins. I would say that Jesper, we got a long ways to go, but I think Jesper's on the precipice of his 4th win here this season. We shall see. Julian a second, Mark Murphy. Wow. What was... he wanted to use that pit road to make the turn into the corner wider? I don't know.
It's like, I would not recommend doing that.
No.
Because, yeah, people often drive into that cutout just to break the toe, but the gains are marginal at best.
Let's watch. See if he does it again. Does it again. Last lap speeds, Orman 5/10 quicker than Strauss. But he's not the fastest car in the top 5. That belongs to Altena and Alexander. Both of those guys in the 183s, Orman in the 182s. That time by Alexander is significantly faster in the top 5, 184. Watching last lap speeds. Today's Gateway 250 is brought to you by Lovern Incorporated. Lovern provides professional services in renovation, remodeling, painting, and mold removal for government, commercial, and residential projects. For a quote or to learn more, like them on Facebook or visit their website at lovernsinc.com today. Link is in the description. And we're going to quickly have a battle here between Altena and Alexander and possibly Strauss. These 3 are starting to get a lot closer to one another. For that matter, they're going to bring Craig Forsyth and P5 right with them.
Yeah, we're going to get a bar fight for second, and I'm pretty sure Jasper would love to see that.
Here it is. They're there. Here's Seb to the inside of Julian. This is for a battle for 3rd. Julian's going to have the aid of the draft in front of him to help pull him along there. Oh, Seb, I think, got loose in the middle of the corner.
Real loose.
And that's going to open the door for Forsyth to get a run to the inside. That's going to cost him a position. He's going to battle on the outside, but Forsyth's going to power ahead. Got to probably cool those tires off a little bit, Seb. Yeah, he got real loose in the middle. He's let cool those tires off. Now he needs to cool those jets off, but he is really wanting to get around. But Julian now to the inside of Strauss. Strauss on the podium in yesterday's DW12 race, badly wanting to win, was leading late, but just didn't work out for him. And Julian is going to, I thought he was going to put the Brazilian slide on him. Side by side down the backstretch. This is just allowing Forsyth and Alexander to get closer. Now Julian powers ahead on the bottom. Strauss just slams the door on Forsyth. Forsyth with a head of steam to the inside in the one. And he's clear. And he's taking a look at Julian. Going to get a wheel to Julian's tail. Not enough to get alongside it for complete the pass. Tucks in back behind. But Strauss now back to fifth. Fourth. Excuse me. Got Julian in second. Craig in third.
Looking back from Jasper Orman's car, you can't even see the fight for a second anymore.
No. Here's looking on the outside. So Seca to the inside.
Can he hold it this time?
Oh!
Yeah.
Just look at this battle right here. Side by side, Julian and Forsyth continuing the battle. This is really a three-car fight here. This is Forsyth, Altena, Alexander as they battle for second. And you're right, we go up to Orman, and let's get the gap times up there. Orman 3.4 back to the leaders. And while we watch them continue to fight, let's just look out the rear gearbox of Orman. You can't even see him. You can't even see him. That's what 3 seconds gets you here at Gateway. It gets you dots on the horizon.
No, it has to be. Have to admit, this fight for second has been real entertaining for us.
Now maybe we can see, like right there. There you see him coming off the corner just because of the lights there. Helps him show up a little better. Now there's Alexander down to the bottom. Whoa, I thought we were going to get wheel-to-wheel contact with Forsyth, but he has the position this time as these guys continue to slug it out. Haymaker after haymaker after haymaker. At some point, one of these guys got to tuck in and say, hey, I got to save fuel. Hey, I want to save tires. I'm not sure if Strauss has decided to be that guy, but these the first three in this picture have really been slugging it out over the last 10 laps. Oh, battle right back here for Bennyworth and Strout. This is for sixth. Bennyworth around Strout. Trying to actually hold him off. And there's Dan Inch, last car on the lead lap. He's being dogged by Santos, who is one lap down. Santos just trying to make some mileage at the moment. Orman getting so close to the wall on exit. Netco decided to think he made contact. Orman, Forsyth, Alexander, Altena, Strauss, Bennyworth, Strout, Inch, Santos, Lovern are your top 10. We are 145 into this thing. With these green flag laps rattling off About 25 seconds a lap, 24 seconds a lap. This race is going to be over really quick. Oh, Morales, I thought was going to go to the wall. He's just trying to let people on by. The problem is when you lit up on the throttle in the middle of the corner, that is effectively you slowing down and also effectively you giving up downforce. And depending on where you slow down in the corner and you lit up on the accelerator, you might actually go up into the wall. So you got to be very, very careful there.
You really have to be. You really have to know what you're doing, because you are. It's sort of. It sounds counterintuitive, but the slower you go in these cars, the harder they are to drive.
Here's the inside. Alexander now back up to second. And right now, all he's really doing is just driving interference for Orman, his teammate, to get away. Now we are, a lot of these guys nearing the 40 lap mark for this stint. That's how quickly it's gone. A lot of these guys stopped on lap 108, 110, 112. Oh! Oh, contact!
No!
Whoa! What happened? It's like he turned into him. It's like something broke on the car, or...
Yeah, just snap to the left.
Forsyth and Alexander on his lid at the moment. We'll watch. And then let's get with Alexander here. Oh, wheel disconnect. The wheel, he hit the wall, and then the wheel disconnected. You could tell the wheel disconnects, and you watch his hands, and just how rapidly they go, and then he just stay. That is a wheel disconnect.
That's very unfortunate.
So here he comes, up into the wall. That is contact with the wall. He did make contact with the wall. Yep, very slight contact. Maybe contact to the inside, and then wheel disconnect, and then boom. And Craig's probably wondering, what the heck just happened? And here's Craig from his point of view. To the inside. Trying to get a better look. Yeah, here it is. To the inside, boom. And then watch this. There's no netcode. I mean, he gave room, and he just turned right down when the wheel disconnected. And that might be a lot of damage on Forsyth's car. And again, this is like almost a carbon copy of kind of what happened to him in the DW12 race, where he had contact with somebody. His car might still be able to keep going here. Well, he's in pit road. He's out of the cockpit right now, so he might be done. He might be reviewing that replay, wondering what the heck happened. So here comes
most surreal incidents I've ever seen.
Yeah, no kidding. Here comes Orman now on the pit road. This could be final stops here. Final stops. Very, very close. I think with the combined caution laps that we're going to do here, this should get everybody to the end. Altena going to stay out. Strauss is going to stay out. Interesting. Bennyworth staying out. Inch staying out. So I'm sure the Inch decision to stay out is right there with his teammate. I'll do what you do. There's no need to split strategies right now. Stout comes to pit road. I am showing Lucas, maybe possibly Lucas Santos back on the lead lap. If he did, good for him. Orman out. He now re-enters the field back in fifth. Showing Seb Alexander as out. Craig Forsyth on pit road. Not sure what happened to Jordan Evans, but he is 10 laps down. But I think he's made a number of trips through pit road to avoid people. That might be what's going to happen. He's going to get the wave around. Wow. Here comes Inch. Oh, interesting issue here. This is very similar to our Thursday night race over on ERL when both the Brazilian drivers, Pinheiro and Del Porto, went out at the same time. Of course, they were different portions of the racetrack, and it was because all of Brazil lost internet at the same time. But it's just another situation of where the key leaders now are gone, and now we kind of have a whole new ball game up at the front here with less than 50 to go. Is Julian is staying out. Julian at 151 pitted last. So actually, Julian did not stay out. Orman must have missed the interest in the pit road. That's what happened.
Yeah, the pit road was not open by the time the safety car first passed the entry.
Okay. And that cost Orman 3 positions. Green flag. 155 of 200. Or 154, excuse me. Thought I was going to change to 155. 154 of 200. Top 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right together going into 3 and 4. Altena, Strauss, Bennyworth, Orman. Inch playing it safe. He's a little bit further on back. Strout's going to pass him on the outside going to 1. So that will turn Strout over to into 5th spot. Santos did make it back to the lead lap. Good for him. He is now 7th. We have 7 cars on the lead lap. The first car off the lead lap is Gary Lovern right there. He is in 8th, 2 laps down.
It'll be interesting to see how quickly Orman could make his way past the cars ahead.
This is a good opportunity for Julian. Unfortunately, that missing the pit road was not open by the time that Orman came around to it, so he could not go to pit road. It would have been to the end of the line, actually. He's looking to the outside of Bennyworth. Not going to be able to make it. Tucks back in. He does still have quite a bit of time. Coming to, very quickly, coming to 40 to go. And how much is anyone going to save fuel? I mean, we've seen Lodato go 53 laps. We've seen Kane go 51. Millward went 55 laps. Lately, Bennyworth went 45. Santos went 48. Greg Forsyth went 48 on his last stint.
Yes, it is possible to make it to the end, but you are really, really going to be running on fumes come the white flag.
And Strauss to the front now. I think maybe Julian decides he needs to save, or Strauss. Again, I don't see Julian really willingly giving up the lead here, not to be any closer to Orman, because really Julian in the points championship needs to get significantly ahead of Orman in order to make ground on him. Orman with 3 wins this season, Julian with 1 win this season. Dive to the inside for Orman. Oh, he touches the rumble strips a little bit. Julian in the draft of Strauss, going to pull himself forward. Orman not able enough momentum to get to the pass. Got the pass made there. Now we're side by side in the 1 and 2 on the narrow end of the racetrack. Remember, this is an egg-shaped oval, very similar to akin to what you see at Motegi or Darlington, just without all the banking, not as big. Turns 3 and 4 here, very much like turns 3 and 4 at or traditional turns 3 and 4 at Phoenix. And the inside, he's got it dialed in so he can dive in late there if he wants. He just can't keep the momentum on the bottom.
Yeah, it's hard to keep your momentum up when you have a car in front of you. It would work if it was a battle for the lead and not for second.
You're not done so already, make sure we watch this battle side by side, depending on how it works out. If the guy that you're rooting for kept the position, give him a thumbs up. How about that? There you go. And make sure that you subscribe and notify to the channel.
See, can he make it work through 1 and 2?
Nah, it just seems same thing over and over. Bennyworth, very interested party looking on. We'll ride with Bennyworth in his very colorful car. I like it. Oh, getting loose. Whoa! Whoa! Got very loose in 3 and 4. In fact, he got so close to the wall, Netcode said you're going to hit it, and when we jumped on board with him, you could hear him make contact with the wall. I don't think he made real contact with the wall, but he definitely got loose. One more time. Taking a look to the inside. And he has Arrow Wash in front of him, and that's not good. And Julian's got the high line. He's going to have the momentum.
Because they're working their way up to the lead. I think the best case is to stop pushing and see if Julian could catch the leader.
I don't know. It's in the MO of Jesper not to push, especially on ovals. Bennyworth here. Needs to go down the 5th right here. And then he should pick up 6 right about the start-finish line. And then drop the 4th. There he goes. And Jesper might have this one.
Couldn't get clear. It was wingtip to rear wheel. He was so close.
Bennyworth getting to run on the outside now to these two. We're riding still with Bennyworth. Inside, Julian getting the draft of Strauss. Julian going to get a good run on the high side. Not able to clear him. And I tell you, Jesper should not panic. He has 30 laps still. That's a lot of time here. They'll go by quickly, but that's a lot of time here. We'll see him touch 200 miles per hour coming into turn 1. Get it down to 150 in the middle. Accelerate hard. Back up through the gears. Look to the inside of Orman into 3. They'll touch 190-ish going into 3. They'll do 180 on the exit of 4. Oh, Bennyworth getting way up in the wash there. A lot of bad exit, not the one that he wanted. Certainly suboptimal. Down the backstretch, taking a look again at this battle right in front of him. This is a battle for second. And Strauss, this is exactly what he wants to see, but Strauss isn't pulling away.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking if they catch them, they can pass Strauss. Like, oh, block pass.
And it looks like it's like Strauss is like helping Julian. It's like I'd rather take the lesser of two evils, and that's apparently he's picked Julian as the lesser of two evils over Orman, because Strauss went down and actually gave Julian the draft. Orman got by, but Julian got back by. Let's go car further. Let's ride with Jesper. Jesper used a little bit of brake. Dan Inch hitting pit road.
Yeah, because you could really tell he dove the corner, just hoping that if he could just slide up in front of Julian, he'd be able to hold the position.
And he is using the brake. You watch the brake meter register some input right here. 100% throttle. Gets a wheel. Julian still has a draft to Strauss. We're going to have another car getting involved in the battle here. Lap traffic. Julian just shoots ahead in the middle of the corner. That might be Tom Holland. He gets the Spidey car out of the way. This is what it looks like. This, if you want to participate in this league, this is what it looks like. We're a little bit higher up. Oh, he's going to send it. Going to send it. Going to send it.
No, can't get there.
Anywhere starting to fall back. Watching out now the gearbox of Strauss. That is a send. Can he clear him? Can he clear him? Can he clear him? He does. Julian might have smacked the wall, but move Orman up to second. And that's what Strauss does not want to see. Oh, Julian to the inside.
Right back. Oh, did they touch?
Julian back to the inside, down low. He sends it. Wow. He made the inside work where a lot of times Orman couldn't. I wonder if that's maybe because the tires might be a little bit fresher from not having to use the bottom side. Here's the inside Orman in 3 and 4. Now they're side by side coming off the corner. Orman should out of position, but once again, Julian has the draft. 181 of 200. These in-car shots, I mean, really just shows you what it's like if you're really in the sim and trying to control these things. And Julian's actually getting a little bit of a run, pulling away from Orman. I'm wondering if Orman's tires are just not as fresh as they were. No, he does a full set. He was waiting for a bit of a run there. Again, sends it.
You're gonna have to let up.
Bannyworth actually is crept back into this a little bit. $16 to go. These in-car shots have been really the class of showing you what's going on with these drivers. And they're not just turning the steering wheel, turning left and keeping the foot in it like a lot of people think these cars do sometimes. I mean, they're in the throttle, out of the throttle, shifting gears. What we don't see, are they changing the roll bars? Are they changing the weight jacker? Sometimes these guys will change the weight jacker every turn of every lap.
Yeah, especially if you want to pull off some of the moves they're doing where you need the car to rotate as much as possible.
14 to go. Inside Orman. Ooh. Orman just decided I'm just gonna go right back up into the draft as soon as I can. Now the leader's gonna experience lap traffic. That is Joseph Morales in 7th. He'll want to get out of the way really quickly. In the inside, here comes Orman, sliding up. No, he has a roll out of it, but there's slower traffic in front of him. And I think Julian might have lost the wing. No, it goes back. Julian's car is a transformer. Thank for his luck it is. He grows back a front wing. And maybe the leaders needed to plan that pass a little bit better. Contact Morales, let them know that they're coming. Maybe tell them a better place to go, hide. Because there's really no place to hide in turns 1 and 2 for a car that's being lapped. 12 to go. Strauss, your leader. Altena is in a heck of a battle with Jesper. No! Orman contact! And there it is! We are under caution.
Oh, I was worried about a collision between those.
And that was netcode. That was netcode.
Yeah,
we're gonna go back.
100%.
Yeah, we're gonna go back and watch it, and we're gonna ride with Jesper as we watch him bounce down the front stretch. But this was netcode. We'll ride with Jesper. We'll watch him get to the inside, and we'll actually see that it doesn't even clearly make contact. But it's just a danger with these cars, and both these guys are in Europe. And it doesn't even touch. I mean, there's a quarter wheel there at least, maybe a half a wheel width.
Yeah, you can clearly tell that there is large gap between the cars when they quote make contact.
I don't know if we'll see next time around here. We'll just watch this. I'm assuming we're just going to reset the field. Strauss now looking very good to get that win. Yesterday, he was very disappointed to get that podium. I told him it was just a matter of time. You keep getting podiums, eventually you're going to get wins.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll watch this going down the backstretch. We're looking out the left side pod. And I don't know if we're really going to see it here. Yeah, we don't really see any contact to contact there. And I didn't notice, and maybe you can. I don't know if it's in the native overlay, but when you bring it up, the menus, I don't know if what server this is. This might actually be a European server. In that case, that's kind of a rare case of European on European, fratricide on a European server. But if this is running on an American server, this running on an American server?
Yeah, the USD server.
Okay, so that would make sense. Julian is backing down and away off of pit road, getting repairs. Jesper on pit road, but not in the cockpit at the moment. I think his car might be a little bit more terminal. So let's reset all this now up at the front. As Strauss is now your leader still, actually. He is at a masterful job of watching his rearview mirror when that battle is happening. I think anybody else might have been nervous and made a mistake. You know, kind of the nerves edge him into making a mistake there. And he kept him at bay. Right behind him is Bennyworth, who has started in the mid-pack, worked his way up 7 spots, and since he's been in the top 5, has pretty much stayed there. His pit road, getting on and off of pit road really under green has been his Achilles heel, but by virtue of this little bit of attrition at the front between two sets of leaders, we had Seb and Forsyth, and then we had Julian and Jesper. He has now worked his way up very cleanly in the second spot. Lucas Santos, at one point, I think he was 2 laps down, and he is back in this battle. He is now third. Julian has rejoined. There he is, just coming out of the pits right now, behind the pace, or right in front of the pace car. I believe he's going to get on a new set of tires. Doesn't need to really worry about fuel at this point. They may have topped him to just a certain amount, but he doesn't need to go any further. The point is, what is the damage on his car, and we'll see once he gets in the front straight how he tracks. And there's a little bit of offset to the left there.
Yeah, that is. We'll find out quickly if that is drivable or not.
So he will actually be in a battle to stay in this race. Or in a good result for this race. And actually, I think because we now are so close to the end, he gets to, all the lap traffic gets to move back. Now, this is not going to be good at the restart, because I think the restart's going to be a little discombobulated with cars all over the three. But the top three are nose to tail. Santos blinking. He can't afford to lose any pings now. Strauss, your leader, does the weave down the front stretch. Takes the green flag in the 1-7 to go, looking for his first win here in the VOR IndyCar Series. Down the backstretch, Bennyworth with him.
See, not close enough to mount a pass attempt in the 1.
6 to go. Now, the thing is, once you get there, you got to pull the pass off cleanly. I think this is really going to be how it finishes out, unless there's any other contact, which has been par for the course today. Bennyworth getting a run. Going to take the look to the inside. He's going to send it, but he's not going to be able to get there. Santos having a little bit of flashing out there again. But now he has a bit of a run now on Bennyworth as his car kind of sheds parts and grows him back. Strauss holding him off again, the weave down the front stretch. Lucas to the inside of Bennyworth. And he gets it done. And the blinking is actually really going to help him. Santos up to second now.
Yeah, it's an unorthodox way to break the toe.
And they have tires all the same length. Santos at the bottom. Santos, that time, he just set. He has the purple lap for the race. Actually, it's Santos there. 3 to go. He has the pace. Santos had a 24-1 earlier in the race. He's trying to reel him in. Oh, that was wall contact.
Yep.
And that might have been the last gasp. Strauss now looking at the white flag. 1 to go here at Gateway.
This needs to bring it home.
Into 3 and 4 cleanly, while second and third fight it out. But a day after being disappointed in the DW12s, he can celebrate in the IR18. Winner here at Gateway, Matthias Strauss, his first win here in the VOR IndyCar Series. And fireworks on the backstretch. And he could drive in front of those. There's your photo moment, man. Get your screenshots there for the Team Watson. web page and Discord server. He's going to do some burnouts here.
Seems like it. Oh.
Oh.
Don't damage the car now.
You gotta take the Zanardi course of donuts. You gotta put all the brake bias up front, and you gotta pivot off that left front or right front wheel. Now he's working it. There it is. There it is. All right, let's queue up the standings here, and then we'll get into the interview room. And here are your results from Gateway. Matthias Strauss with the win by 3/10 over Lucas Santos. Lucas Santos, drive of the day, really. I think at one point he was actually 2 laps down. He had a miserable day yesterday. I think he had a DNF early yesterday. Came back today. Wasn't looking good, but what a recovery. P2 for Santos there. He's up 10 spots. And Bennyworth, fast all day. And in earlier practice, he was among the top 3 fastest there on the charts there. He qualified not as good as he probably wanted, but improved 6 spots to finish 3rd. And that's a great run for him. I believe that is might be a career best for him here in VOR. In fact, I think all these finishes might be career best for people. And I hate to say this as someone who's got their career best finish in VOR here too. Maybe it has to do with Gateway. I don't know. Julian does bring a wounded car home 4th. Lovern, I guess our sponsor for the day, finishes 5th. A top 5 for Gary. Great job for him. Joseph Morales, Jomo in 6th. Tom Holland swings his way to 7th. Jesper Orman, a very disappointing 8th after leading just a ton of laps throughout this whole race. Evans very quietly works his way in the top 10 for 9th. Dan Inch has really, as soon as he started getting himself off schedule with those fuel stops, really has been in the top 10 for much of the race and finishes 10th right there. So a good race for Inch. Strout is in 11th. He fell out. I'm not sure exactly what happened to him. I don't know if he had a ping fell or he hit the wall. We just didn't see him retire. Alexander and Forsyth in contact with one another in 12th and 13th. Savazzi smacks the turn 4 wall on his own and comes home 14th. Ledato spins in the middle of turns 3 and 4 coming up to speed. Finishes 15th after coming off pit road. Lee Kane 16th. Millward also same thing, 3 and 4, spinning off of on his outlap. He gets 17th. Timothy 3, 18th. Christensen, again, much the same way, except a little bit later in a run. He's 19th. Cameron Brustain just had a target on him today. Poor guy. Finishes 20th. I feel your pain. I've been there, Cameron. But good to see you again, and hope to see you in the next race. And that's our 20-car field. All right, let's get into the booth. I do not see Bennyworth. And I do see Santos. I do see Strauss. So checking the interview, checking the Discord server here. Lee Kane just says, "I don't have the endurance for these longer races." I told you these races, and this is IndyCar actually does 250 here, right? Is that what IndyCar will do here when they're here in a couple weeks?
Yes, they will run 250.
Yeah, 250 miles, or is it 250 laps?
I think it's laps they do.
Okay, so they only have to. I mean, you saw how busy these guys are. I mean, you're shifting gears at one end of the racetrack, at least 2 gears, then grabbing 2 more gears down the backstretch, dropping a gear at least in turns 3 and 4, and then grabbing more gears down the front stretch. All the while, you're going up on the roll bar, down on the roll bar, whether it's your front or your rear, and adding weight jacker and taking weight jacker away. So you are very busy in these cars, and especially if you have force feedback on your wheel, it's going to feel like a marathon today.
Oh, without a doubt. It is going to be very demanding in terms of, like, just wrestling with force feedback this entire time.
Okay, I don't think we're going to see Benny. So let's go ahead and let's bring up Lucas Santos for P2 here today. And if Benny shows up, we'll bring him up here. And here he is, Lucas Santos, bringing you into the booth. Mr. Santos, great run, a good recovery from yesterday, but it didn't look like this day was starting off good for you because I think you went down a lap, maybe even 2 at one point, fought your way back, and somehow brought this car home second. How did you do it?
To be honest, I just went back to whatever my teammates back at Scoochie Moose Motorsports taught me all about oval racing. Like, trying to stay on that lead lap or until I went into the pits, and then when I think it was, yeah, you're correct, like 2 laps down, 1 lap down. And then I just played the waiting game. Us at Scoochie Moose Motorsports, we have a lot of an endurance program, and that's one of the things that we really teach ourselves is just the patience of everything and making sure you're at the right place at the right time. So throughout that entire race, I was just like, okay, I mean, the cars, I gained more confidence in the car. The tires felt great, just had to have that patience, and boom, here we are.
Were you just not feeling it with the car early, and that's when you said I was just getting more confidence with the car, just between practice and the changing conditions of day and the night, the car changed on you a little bit?
Absolutely, yeah. At first, even during practice sessions, like it's one of my first few times back into the IndyCar environment, and I've been really proud of trying to get back to where I am, and just having that confidence at the beginning. Yeah, you're correct. Didn't have really that much at the beginning. But as night went on, the track became more rubbered. I knew what the tires could do. Just confidence grew tenfold by the end of the race.
Well, there were others that had deeper drives from in the field. I think Lovern had 14 spots he improved. Morales had 12 and Holland had 13. But I think in terms of maybe over the course of the entire race, maybe you might have driven the longest distance, even more than the winner after coming back from, I'm pretty sure it was 2 laps down. So great strategy calls. Great job on just being patient. I know a lot of people would have thrown the plan out the window very early on, especially going 1 lap down, never mind 2. But just sticking with the plan kind of shows your fortuitousness on just, making a plan and sticking to it, and whatever you do, remaining to sticking to it because you made the right plan. So congratulations, my friend. Great run. Normally what we do is we give people time here to shout out their friends, family, sponsors, anybody they want to say hi to while they're on the podium, because this is, I guess, your best finish in the series. So congratulations. Go right ahead.
Thank you. It's one of my first in an IndyCar. So honestly, big thanks to everybody back at the team, Scoochie Moose Motorsports. They've given me the confidence, they've given me the lessons, the skills to make the driver who I am today. All the partners on the car, we've got Operation Motorsports, we've got Moto Emotion, Sports Car Travel, MS Gear, everybody who's made this possible for the team and for myself. I really want to say thank you to my parents who've let me have this opportunity to go into iRacing, I think just over 4 years ago. And then get to this point on my first, I think, podium in IndyCar. It's great. It's awesome. So massive thanks to them, to all my friends back at University of Minnesota, here in Singapore, everybody in the world. Thank you so much for all the support. And thank you guys for having such a great show.
Well, we enjoy bringing it to everybody. Yeah, wise man to always thank mom and dad. That is a very wise move there. And then when you get the girlfriend or the wife, you got to thank her real quick afterwards as well. Let me tell you that that's a secret of a long marriage right there. But anyways, congratulations. We want to thank mom and dad too for allowing you to be here. And hey, man, let's get some more practice in these IndyCars, and then maybe we'll see you on some more podiums here later in the season.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. We're going to be working hard to get back here soon.
All right, congratulations, Lucas Santos. An awesome P2 run for him tonight here at Gateway. All right, let's bring up our winner. Oh, my goodness, sir. What a difference 24 hours makes. 24 hours ago, you were not very happy. Are we happy to now?
Yeah. I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
Well, let's talk about how, if I was in your shoes and I had Julian and Jesper breathing down my neck and you led the entire about 50 laps of this race, so you basically had them breathing down your neck for about 50 laps. How nervous were you, and how hard was it to stay focused knowing that those two were slugging it out, and then once they decided it, someone's coming after you?
Yeah, I mean, it was not really that hard of a choice to give the dirty air to. I knew that I know I can race both of them, and I respect them both, and it was a pretty solid decision for me to just make the bottom way harder, so so they went side by side, which created some gap for me to relax. But yeah, it's I can't even refocus on give thoughts on the race at the moment.
Well, we even noticed at one point when you were leading and Julian and Jesper were going side by side. So most of the time was Jesper trying to get him to the inside of 1 and 2 and couldn't quite finish it off. Julian fought back on one lap. He got passed, and then Julian fought back on the next lap and went to the inside of 1 and 2, pulled the pass off with help from you. So we noticed that you came down lower on the racetrack to lend your draft to Julian. Did you decide at that point that the lesser of two devils possibly was Julian, and that you wanted to keep Jesper more at bay than Julian?
Yeah, definitely. I saw Jesper as a bigger threat, because he showed as soon as he got cleaner, he just bolted away when he was in cleaner. So I knew that was my only chance of keeping them both behind.
Well, great job. It did not go unnoticed. Believe me, we noticed it. So sometimes when you make a deal with the devil, you have to pick the lesser of two devils. And he decided to go with Julian there, and that might have been eventually the move that kind of saved things there, because those two continued to slug it out. And then when that last caution came up, I mean, were you surprised it was those two that brought up the last caution?
Yeah, considering how the racing has been, it was pretty much yellow race, but I'm surprised it was those two. I think it was netcode as usual.
Yeah, it was netcode. Yeah.
Today, so that caught me a bit by surprise, but that just gave me like, hey, you can do this. You have two drivers you haven't really raced behind you before, and the whole race you have been quicker than them, so it was just head down and hit the marks and just focus forward. Exactly.
Heads down, hit your marks, eyes forward. But I know you're much more happier than yesterday. Yesterday, even though you finished on the podium in the DW12, you're like, yeah, I'm not. I need a win here. I kept saying it's a matter of time, because if you keep finishing on podiums, eventually you will get that win. And little did we know, 24 hours later, you would get that win. Congratulations. I know that you got some friends and family and a team there, and Team Watson there you want to thank. So go right ahead. Shout out, sir.
Yeah, well, obviously Team Watson Racing for the usual to keep me under their wings, and mom and dad, brother, my whole family who supported me and allowing me to do what I love, and to Liam as well, who's been one of the major factors, the reason I am where I am today, and the biggest shout out to Victor, who has created this beautiful design of my car, and yeah.
Well, congratulations. We are happy for you. We can definitely hear, or at least Ryan, you need to go back and listen to the interview yesterday, because he sounded like a Formula One driver when they finished on the podium. Yeah, I finished on the podium. Big deal. You know, that's kind of how he was yesterday. So it's a different 24 hours for Matthias Strauss here, winner of the Gateway 250. Congratulations, and we'll see you at the next one, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
And I did see Benny Worth in the waiting room, and he took off. I don't know if Julian told him to take off or what, but we'll bring up Julian now. He is the admin and co-founder or founder of Velocity Online Racing. So bring him up. Julian, we got you here in the booth, sir. Not the day that you really wanted, but you survived the fourth. I would say, as someone that survived a number of races here, a pretty typical Gateway race. We didn't get a chance to interview Benny Worth, so we'll bring you up. Talk about your race. Obviously, Netcode took you out.
Yeah, it was a good race. It was very close and high speed, and we knew coming in that this race was going to be either very bad or very good. But yeah, this is my channel, so I'm going to say the word anyway. It was a shit show, but it was the good kind. So yeah, I mean, the race itself was great. Like I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. Just everybody that race at the front, especially, you know, we all kind of took our time and knew at certain points in the race when to go and when not to go. And at the end there, before that yellow came out, that put us in contention. I sort of knew already it was over, because I got really messed up by both of those. Got caught a lap down on both yellows during the pit cycle. But when I got back on the lead lap and then that caution came out to put me back in contention, like I said, I just knew that I had to use Matthias to keep the draft for myself. And he recognized as well that he needed to run the bottom in turns 1 and 2, and then in the middle a little bit for turns 3 and 4, so I could get the draft down the straights and still get clean air, because Matthias and I, we go way back. He's been racing in this league for years at this point, and we're also pretty good friends. So it's really good to see that he finally wins. I'm pretty sure I heard him choke up. He really deserves it.
Yep, he sure did.
He drove his heart out today, and he was up there on merit. Like, he didn't win on pure luck or anything. It was just he was right there all race, and he fully deserved this win. So it's really good to see, and just everything in general. The racing that we saw, even though the attrition was high, was a really good race. Would have liked a few fewer crashes, especially in the beginning, but you know, that's the way it goes. And like you said, typical Gateway, it seems, for us at least. But the style of racing was fantastic, and if people just practice a little bit more, I think we'd have a great show here the next time we come here, if that's next season or not. But yeah, if people put in some more practice time, they will get there, and the racing will also improve. But yeah, overall, not much to complain. Just really happy that a good friend of mine won. Congrats to everybody at Team Watson Racing. Was a good race. Yeah.
All right. Well, how did your car drive after the incident with Jesper? I'm assuming it was down on speed, but still, we hopped on board with you real quick, and it was tracking a little bit to the left, but still drivable.
Yeah, it was fine mostly. It was just slow. Like I told Gary as well that I couldn't keep up, so I just told him to go. He didn't want to at first because he saw no need, but I was just so slow, and he had P6 3 seconds back, so didn't want to take any risk there for him. He also drove a really good race to P5.
Yeah, great race for the team there. Top 5s for you guys. Despite not getting the win, I mean, still 2 in the top 5 is pretty awesome, despite all the attrition.
Exactly, yeah. And even though we're not actually on the same team, because he is on Team B, I guess you can call it. Still a good race, like you said. But yeah, just the car itself was fine. Like, I tried to take as much of the repairs that I could under the yellow to make it as drivable as I could, and that's what it was. So luckily the attrition also was so high that I still got away with the top 5 from that, which is kind of crazy. But to go back on my incident with Jesper, it's great to race him, and I don't think either of us was at fault for that. It was just a bit of netcode, and he stood up a little bit. I came down a little bit because I was trying to follow Matthias's draft, and that just meant that we got together. So just a really unfortunate racing incident there. But yeah, at least from my side, of course, I don't lose any respect for that. Jesper thought, I mean, that by the way he messaged me that he was at fault for it or something. I don't think that was the case at all. Just one of those racing deals.
I think it's good racing. I think it was just good hard racing. I mean, it was netcode ultimately everything. So you can't really, when netcode becomes involved, I guess you can't point the finger exactly at somebody and say. And we saw some pretty bad netcode incidents happen here. The incident. Well, it wasn't netcode, but the incident with Sub, where his looks like his wheel locked up on him or disconnected, that was one. And I think we saw a pretty bad netcode yesterday here in the DW12. So nothing you can do about that type of stuff. Well, we're going to let you go so we can wrap things up here at Gateway. But thanks for joining us. I did see Benny pop in, but he must have had to run early. But we'll send our congratulations on to him for coming home third. But a good race, and I guess we're on to the Indy GP next.
Yes, next race is Indy GP next week. But also to quickly come back on the netcode, yes, it's part of it, and it happens. So like I said, I don't lose any respect for Jesper. I'll still race him the same way that I always do, which is hard and fair, like we did here today. We put on a good show. Like I said, I knew I needed to use Matthias to stay in front of him. Otherwise, he would just run away with it. So, yeah, want to thank everybody at my team, Alternate Autosport, and all of the people that showed up today. IFS Personal Financial Planning, 40 Racewear, the Alzheimer's Association, of course. How could I forget? And also my girlfriend, she's sitting downstairs. And you guys as well. I don't know if I already mentioned you guys, but if not, then there you go.
Thank you.
Looking forward to watching it back on the TV in about 5 minutes. But
you'll like the coverage of watching your battle, because we were definitely enthralled with your battle with Jesper for, I mean, that 10-15 lap period. It was just every lap was a slug. You know, you hit him, he hits you, you hit him, he hit. And I'm not saying you guys were making contact on the racetrack. It's just like you guys were just throwing haymakers at you, defending, him sending it, you defending, him sending it, then you send it, and he defends. Yeah, it was great racing. We had a good time watching it. Well, we're gonna let you go. We're gonna wrap on out of here, but we will see you next week at Indy GP.
Yep. See you, Gary.
See ya.
Ryan.
All right, Ryan is on. No, now he's off of mute. Ryan, final thoughts on today. This does get classified kind of as a typical VOR race at Gateway, and another first-time winner at Gateway for VOR as well. And we hear your music. He's rocking already. He's ready to go. We can't hear you. He's rocking. All right, we'll go ahead and we don't get a copyright strike. You might have audio issues going on there. Oh well. Never mind that. That happens from time to time. Trust me. Whenever Windows updates hits, you can never tell. But let's get on out of here. I want to thank everyone for watching. It is a bit of a long evening at these races here sometimes. So thanks for sticking around. So that's it for today. Once again, your podium for the Loverns Incorporated 250 from Gateway is Matthias Strauss, first win in the series. What a difference 24 hours makes, my man. Congratulations, first win. Lucas Santos, drive of the day, coming back from multiple laps down and finishing second. And Ben Bennyworth, excuse me, who we didn't get a chance to talk to. We'd love to talk to him maybe next time if he gets on the podium. Comes home third. So you can join Ryan and myself again next week for round 6 of season 12 of the VOR IndyCar Series as the teams and drivers head to Indianapolis for the Grand Prix of Indianapolis. Coverage will start approximately at 3 p.m. Eastern. Again, that's 3 p.m. Eastern, 3:00 p.m. Eastern. As always, remember, for the correct broadcast times in your area, you can find everything right here at YouTube at youtube.com/@Velocity Online Racing. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not easy, so please help support us with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below. Let us know your thought of tonight's race. And if you enjoyed today's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video. If you're new, click subscribe and right at hit the bell for weekly reminders so you'll miss out on more of other Velocity Online Racing iRacing programming, including action from their IR18 Sprint and DW12 Iconic Series. Today's Gateway 250 brought to you by Lovern's Incorporated. Lovern's provides professional services in renovation, remodeling, painting, and mold removal for government, commercial, and residential projects. For a quote or to learn more, like them on Facebook or follow them on their website at lovernsinc.com today, and the link is in the description. Just click on it. Track cams for the race are provided by Whiplash Sim Cams. Get the most out of your iRacing experience with Whiplash. To learn more about Whiplash Sim Cams, like them on Facebook or follow them on Twitter. Links are in the description. For business inquiries, learn more about Velocity Online Racing. Visit their website at velocityonlineracing.com or like them on Facebook, follow them on Twitter. Links are in the description. So, for Ryan, Erik, King, everyone here at Velocity Online Racing, I'm Gary Godsoe saying all happy Saturday. Thanks for watching. And to all our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come on safe. Catch us again right here next week in Indy for the next race of the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Series. See ya. We're going to go watch some SummerSlam.